Hey, welcome guys back to the Musings of Maverick channel. I am your host Maverick, where today we are going to be watching the finale of Senryuu Shoujo. So, it's been a fun ride so far. Definitely not the anime I was expecting, but we'll talk more about that at the very end after the series concludes, right? So, last episode, right? Not really seeing anything much on Twitter as to the plans after this. How exactly is it going to end? You know, there's nothing to carry over from last episode. As far as we know, they're still having their summer vacation right now, right? It's still summertime. And that actually leaves me thinking maybe a good way to sort of end at least the season of the anime is to maybe call back to the first episode, right? The first episode was the start of a new school year. Maybe here they're going to end their summer vacation and start classes again. It would also be nice if they actually refocus back onto the topic of this show, Senryu's, right? I don't know, it just seems like a good thing to do in order to bring the series full circle. Considering that, well, it is ending, right? Even though there's still some other stuff to do, so maybe, like I said, the manga for this is actually still ongoing, and it's quite the amount of volumes. I believe volume 9 volumes, 10 volumes, or something like that. So I don't know. It's anyone's guess, but I'm gonna say it's probably best if they could touch on the subject of Senryu's again, just to sort of close things out. But let's just see if that is correct right now. Alrighty, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Well, we're at school. Since they're wearing their uniforms... No, it could be just summer club activities. Oh. Hmm. Getting a flashback episode? Alright. So AG brought her out of her shell? Something like that? Hmm. Okay, this would work as well. Nanako and AG. Suddenly winter. Hmm? Hey, that was a Senryuu. Oh yeah, I think they did show that one in the first or second episode. Okay, so this is his first foray. No, not at all. Oh? Mm, okay. He wants to share? Ah, suddenly it's kind of... So sit. Okay. Hmm? It's sort of like in the same style as hers. Kind of funny. Hmm. So they were originally in different middle schools. Ah, he was awfully perceptive. Mhm. Alright. Dang. That is one perceptive mom. So then they both studied and got into the same school, I'm guessing. Oh. Ah, so then they're gonna communicate through this board? Yeah, she's got it bad. Aww. Oh man. This is so wholesome in a way. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous, but it's so wholesome. You just can't help but smile at this kind of development. What? Wow. And they're actually at the same school as well. Hmm? Really? What? Really? What happened, actually? And I love it how it's Nanako who's running around looking for him. You know, normally in a lot of rom-coms, it's the other way around, right? It's the guy looking for the girl. You guys literally met once. Oh. What? WTF. Wow. Ah. Age. Ah. That was nice. I wish they would have shown maybe a little bit more though. Let me read this song. I'll let this play out. Hmm. And yeah, this ending song is great. I wish I would have let it played out just a little bit more, right? Like, we were just getting to a very emotional scene right there. Like, I liked, ah, that's it. Never mind, hold that thought. I'll talk more about this at the, actual ending. What? That's it? Seriously? Oh, man. Alright, anyways, I'll talk more about this, in the review portion. And there we have it, the season finale of Senryuu Shoujo. So, on this episode first, I actually quite liked the way that they did it. You know, even though I was saying how I like things to come full circle, I guess in a way, really teaching us about the backstory of these two also works as well. It was interesting, it was heartwarming. You know, the only thing I would really nitpick about this episode is that I think in the very last scene, you know, where AJ and Nanako meet in the park, I wish that scene could have gone on a little bit longer, right? It seemed to be a pretty emotional scene. We had that big climax with Nanako running, trying to find AJ and whatnot. We got the music in the background. She finally found him. You know, let us live in that moment a little bit longer, right? I felt like they could have really stretched that out just a little bit more, and everything would have been fine. Instead, I think they kind of rushed things so that we got to the ending part. I get it. It's only a 10-minute something episode, right? But still. Like, I really would have wished we could have seen a little bit more of the aftermath of them meeting in the park. But basically, that's my only complaint. Otherwise, I do love how they structured this episode. It's a fitting end to this season, I think. You know, again, it's sort of like what I mentioned, going back to square one and revisiting, purely just these two characters as well as the topic of this anime, Senryuu, right? So, good on them here. Now, I guess since this is the finale, maybe do an overall conclusion to this anime. There's really not much to conclude about this, right? It's actually quite different from all the other anime works that I'm watching on my channel, even the rom-coms that I've watched for this channel specifically. For instance, Kaguya-sama. It had more stuff for me to sort of analyze or maybe make references to and whatnot. This one, really, it's really pure fluff, right? Originally I felt that it would have something to do with Senryuu's, maybe we learn a little bit more about Senryuu's, but really it's not being used as a plot device at all. It's only used as a very background setting, as a character trait, and that's literally it, right? We've learned basically nothing about Senryuu's throughout these 12 episodes. So, not really much for me to really say for each episode, but I do enjoy it. I really do enjoy it. It gives me just this, fuzzy and warm feeling whenever I see Nanako and Eiji interact with each other. It's so heartwarming to see. And, it's... production issues aside, right? Like, let's be honest here. This is not a very well animated anime, right? It's definitely a budget anime. I mean, sure, the seiyuu cast is pretty strong, but in terms of the animation, they were skipping frames here and there, right? We had PowerPoint scenes, the slideshows for like half of the episodes. But even so, I do think that it combined with the humor and whatnot, they did a pretty good job considering the resources they were given with, right? So, compared to a lot of other rom-com adaptations, I feel like this one actually, even though you can clearly see its budget, it got the job done. And for that, I think it deserves some applause, right? And of course, like, the story itself, as I said, it's heartwarming, it's fluffy, I absolutely love. How can you hate on Nanako, right? And even the side characters were pretty fun and on their own right as well. And really, it's kind of funny, right? It's literally styled like a harem anime. You got all these different girls and all these different characters who are all close to Eiji in one way or another, but at the same time, it's not a harem, right? It's purely just Nanako and Eiji, and everybody is supporting them along. So, not that I don't like harem anime, I do watch harem works as well, or read harem works, but I did like how they went with this series as well. And yeah, I do think I'll probably go pick up the manga. It's definitely interesting enough and funny enough for me to want to keep watching more. So I guess that really can just about conclude my thoughts for this anime, right? Like, come on, it's a short series. It's adapted from a 4-coma. But again, I feel like for what it is, considering its constraints and whatnot, a pretty good job. It is easily recommendable in my book. So, that's my thoughts on this series as a whole. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this series as well. You probably have, otherwise you wouldn't be here for 12 episodes, right? So yeah. Is there going to be another season? Honestly, I think maybe not. I checked their Twitter and there was no mention of anything in regards to that. But, since obviously they didn't really spend much money on this as well, it could be possible. Who knows? If it does, I'll be sure to watch it. If it doesn't, well, hey, we've had a fun time, a fun ride. So, that concludes my review for Senryuu Shoujo, episode 12, and the series as a whole. Hopefully for you guys, you'll stick around for some of my other works as well. I will be watching more rom-coms in the future and more slice of lives. So, if that's what tickles you, be my guest, right? And of course, if you have any other recommendations as well for next season, since this is the end of this season, do let me know as well. I can't guarantee that I will watch them, but I will check it out at least. So, there we go. Hope I'll see you guys around, and see you guys next time. Until then, bye-bye.